Welcome to Draw My Life. I know a lot of people start this by saying that they are bad artists, but I assure you I am horrible. This will be one of the worst you've ever seen because I have the motor skills of a 4-year-old. Anyway, hi there. My name is Gregory Scott Williams. Many of you know me strictly by Sky. I've lived my life as two people, and I hope that this video will give you insight as to why I choose to live as the latter. I'm going to start with the sad and depressing stuff, and the fun will come later. Let's start from the beginning. I was born in San Jose, California or something, on January 31st, 1990. I'm the youngest of three. I have a sister named Alex, a brother named Nick, my mom's name is Sharon, and my dad's name is Greg. I was an accident. I figured out when I deciphered the lyrics of a song my mom kept singing to me titled The Bonus Baby. God, I was so stupid when I was an infant. I grew up in Gilroy, where white people are made, so saying that I'm whitewashed is putting it mildly. When I was 3 years old, my parents got divorced. And not more than a week later of my father leaving, my future stepfather entered the picture. There are many things that I would love to call him, but for now, we'll just call him Bob. In elementary school, I was skinny, athletic, and a bully. And I was very popular for two reasons. One time during dodgeball, I kicked this ball in reaction to it being thrown at me, and it landed in a basketball hoop, and I said I did it on purpose. And also my mom would bring pizza for lunch sometimes, which made me really cool to everyone. My mom did everything in her power to keep my mind off the divorce. I was spoiled rotten, and I guess I just wish I would have said thank you more. I was part of this GATE program called Gifted and Talented Education. I took some tests at a library and they called me one of their brilliant minds. I didn't know what it meant, but as long as I was able to get out of class once a week to draw random shit, then I was cool. I got a tad depressed after 6th grade because I had a very big difficulty with change, and I still do. I was excited for school, but at the same time I knew things would be different. I didn't want change. I had associated change with what I had experienced when Bob came around more, and in my mind the word became so negative that I hated it, you know? So I became a little less social, a little less confrontational. I changed my personality completely, and I think I was just trying to enter junior high with a little bit of caution. But my apprehension of change wasn't the thing that ruined junior high for me. It was my mom's overbearing love. Okay, so it was cold when I returned to school, and my mom bought me a sweater with one pocket that looked like a boob. And right away I was picked on from all the other kids, and when I didn't stand my ground because I didn't want to be that confrontational, all the other kids jumped on the bandwagon, and suddenly I became a complete loser. What's worse is the kids that I picked on in elementary school were less than sympathetic to my newfound situation. And to make matters even worse, the only friends that I did have recognized that I was unpopular and had plotted to ditch me as a friend in the middle of the year. One time I was late to class when my teacher Miss Mittman was taking roll. I had an ear to the door when I heard that she declared me absent, and AJ said, "Oh, thank God!" And the whole class laughed, and the teacher promptly scolded each and every one of them, and while I appreciated the gesture, I couldn't handle it. I ran home and I didn't show up to school that day. To cope, I stayed inside a lot, played video games a lot, and grew very overweight. See, I was angry. I was keeping a secret. It was around this time of my life that I knew that I was gay. I knew because my father had sat us all down and told us about homosexuality and the Bible. And when he explained that he would forbid us laying in bed with our homosexual partners, Nick and Alex were cool, but I raised my hand and I was like, "Well, how do you feel about camping outside?" That's real. My mom was from Guyana, which made it a little harder to be gay, because in Guyana the men are supposed to be strong to protect their house, you know? They believe that you can beat the gay out of somebody, else you'll probably be taken advantage of or killed. And my brother and sister made things worse by constantly calling me fag and gay as if it was the new thing to do. I was completely shut off. I didn't have anyone to talk to. I didn't want to disappoint my family. So it was around that time that I took this oath to never come out to anyone, family or otherwise. You see how well that turned out. See, I was the type of guy that said those awkward jokes that nobody would laugh at. And then I'd say the punchline again, just in case anyone didn't hear it, you know, like, hey, you get it? You get it? No, they heard it, but they didn't even give me pity laughs. Some people would straight up just tell me to shut up. So I did that. You know, for 4 years, I just kind of shut up. Okay, well, this has been pretty dark. Let's go ahead and get to some of the fun stuff. Remember when I said I would stay home and play video games all day? Well, I got pretty good at them, particularly one called Super Smash Bros. Melee. I would beat everybody in my neighborhood after a lot of practice, and I had this addiction to being the best at everything. While browsing the internet, I found websites dedicated to cartoons and video games where I actually felt at home. And I was very lucky. I stumbled across a tournament for the video game I played so much. That very same weekend, I drove to a tournament and the room was filled with these people who shared the same passion that I did, video games. And I was confronted by this big burly guy who asked for my entry fee, and that's probably where I got the attraction to bears. After I gave him money, he asked what my gamer tag was, and I was at a loss for words. But I instantly spoke up and said, Sky. He wrote it down, and from then on, that's what everybody called me. That might have been the best day of my life, or one of them. See, nobody knew that I was a loser. Nobody knew that I was gay. Nobody cared. They just cared about the game. I could reinvent myself. I could become something awesome, something great, like a fresh start. Going to these gaming tournaments became an addiction. I would go every weekend to various events, and when I was at these tournaments, I tried to be the person that I wanted to be at home. Social. I wanted to make people laugh. I told my mom about this, and she was really skeptical. She told me that I needed to focus on school and forget about this gaming thing, and I know she wanted what's best for me, but this feeling of a new person was something that I just couldn't let go. I told my dad about it, but he didn't really understand it either. We'd usually talk while watching stand-up comedy on Comedy Central, and those guys would just go on stage and make people laugh, and I was infatuated with that. I looked at them and I decided one day that I want to make people laugh like that. That's what I want to do. I made that my mission. As I went to tournaments, I would take jokes from comedians that people probably haven't heard of to practice comedic timing, not to steal their jokes, and get a sense for what works and what doesn't. And every time I would say something that wasn't scripted, that was funny, I would put it in my phone and then try it out on a different audience. I got so good with coming up with unscripted material that I found out that I was making a lot of people laugh in multiple conversations. I couldn't just keep putting it in my phone, I just kind of winged it. One day as I was leaving a tournament, I overheard a conversation. It was like, dude, have you met Sky yet? Nah, who is he? Oh, he's this kid that plays Smash, and that dude is funny as fuck. Not gonna lie, cried a little bit on the way home, out of happiness, of course. I had used, Sky to become this new person, and I could use the skills that I've learned to turn Greg's life around, and I felt like it was finally my turn. See, the talent show was coming up at my high school. I had so many jokes in my phone, but my killer was gonna be a joke about how my stepmother acted really black and how she uses her finger to increase the level of her volume. It was the volume finger joke. My first joke that ever got an applause break. I entered the contest and performed my material, and I ended up winning. That year I became extremely popular, and it was then and there that I took full control of my life. And by full control, I mean I straight up went to my mom and my family and I said I want to be a comedian, and I was shut down completely by dissuasion and doubt. My mom was worried that I was making the wrong choice. I love her so much that I always try to listen to her, but this was something that I just couldn't ignore. My family had expressed their doubt, and while I understood they came to this country with nothing and used education to be successful, their methods were less than effective when it came to trying to convince me to follow their path. One of my uncles played a trick on me, saying they had a connection with Konami, and they were going to sponsor me as a gamer, which was obviously a lie. My other uncle explicitly stated that I would never be smarter or more successful than he was, ever. I would always be number 2 to him. And my stepfather had told me that my mother would always choose him over me, and that I was doomed to live a pathetic life. And to their face, I was tough, but, between you and me, behind closed doors, I don't think I've ever felt more hurt. But I turned that pain into determination. I mean, who the fuck were they to tell me what I can and can't do, what is and isn't possible? I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand the lack of support. I needed to get out. I had so much pent-up anger from the betrayal of my friends to the stupid divorce and the sexuality, which made no sense at all. I had it. I was sick of it. I had to just leave. My stepfather and I got into a huge fight, and that very same night, I packed my bags and left. My mom was crying, and I still miss her just as much every day. It was that same year that my best friend Henry died of bacterial meningitis. He was somebody that I played Brawl with a lot, and actually the first person I ever told that I was gay. He knew that I had a crush on him and he didn't care. In fact, he was the only person that just blindly supported me through my goals and dreams, unconditionally. When he died, a lot of things changed. I stopped playing Smash as much, and I became a very strong person. I fell into a depression but used League of Legends to get out of it. I didn't really want to go outside much, but League of Legends was like easy because you can play with your friends on Skype or whatever and you don't even have to leave your home and you feel like they're right there next to you. So before I knew it, I wound up in LA. Before this, I had been working from Applebee's to Applebee's for a total of like 6 years as a server, And while working at Applebee's, I tried some of my material like I usually do at tables when this lady told me there was an audition at a place called Flappers for stand-up. I didn't think I was good enough to do anything worth hiring, but I figured, hey, whatever, let's give it a shot. And to my luck, I was the only one out of 40 who got picked for this competition. And throughout these years, I've made so many friends from video game tournaments that the people that I met were more than happy to watch me do stand-up. The first night of the competition was difficult. It was LA, the place where comics are born. The intimidation, I really hope I never relive that, but I placed and I advanced. The next time I went up, I actually ended up placing first, and I qualified for the final championship round. The night of the finals was packed, and I had been competing against people who were like on Comedy Central, people who were doing this for years, real comedians. And it had only been my 9th time on stage, and I'm not saying that to brag or anything. I'm saying that to get it into your head how scared to death I was. I walked up on stage. I took a deep breath, and I had the best set of my entire life. I've never had a great response like that doing anything. But I didn't get first. I didn't get second or third. Nope. I got 4th. I didn't get any prize, but I didn't care. I placed 4th out of 400 comics throughout the whole competition. And that's the first time I told myself, I can really do this. I can make something of myself. I can be somebody, And I believed it. And it was around that time that I had developed such a passion for League of Legends that I wanted to give more to the community. I wanted to try to incorporate my own thoughts and ideas, to the community. And the role I played was nothing but frustrating. So I made this video expressing myself, uncensored, about why I hate the people I play with sometimes. My best friend Sean was on Skype with me at the time, and I posted the video to Reddit. I never posted really anything to Reddit before, so I wasn't expecting anything. It was like a shot in the dark. When I posted it, not too many upvotes. I went to the restroom and I came back and Sean was screaming, Sky, get here quick, oh my god. Before I knew it, my post had over 400 upvotes and I was quickly climbing on the top of the Reddit page. Not only Reddit League, but all Reddit as well. And I was on the front page for one of the biggest websites in history. Number 1 even. Thousands of people were sending me emails, leaving me comments, tweets, adding me on Facebook. It was unreal. I instantly got invited to a group of famous YouTubers in Skype, and my Facebook blew up with my friends celebrating my success. And while I'd like to say that the shock is worn off, it really hasn't. In 2 months, my life has changed so much. You watching this right now have done so much for me. You've shown me that if you push hard enough, any dream is possible. If you have the will to do it, you can do it. I'm not even just saying that. If I can make it, you can make it. Real. Okay, you've given me a direction, a goal, a starting point. You've given meaning to my life, but most of all, you've given me a new dream. My current dream, I want to be the face for esports comedy. I want to do live shows at various tournaments, ripping on multiple games and people and making hundreds of thousands of people laugh. I want to be invited to different states to perform for gamers around the world. I want to be the Dave Chappelle of gaming comedy. But those are distant dreams. I know. Though honestly, I feel like I am ready to do a small stand-up bit at PAX Primer Worlds for League of Legends. Riot, please. Just saying. But I know that I have a long way to go. It's thanks to you guys that I'm on here on this path, and while YouTube isn't forever, I know that I'll be here for a while. And let this be a lesson for all of you, though. I don't care what your dreams are. You need to go out there and chase them. I would rather live my life alone than be with somebody who doesn't share the same level of passion, ambition, and drive to achieve something. The meaning of life is to share your talent with the world, to contribute to the development of the people that you share this earth with. And if somebody tells you no, you tell them, watch me. Because for me, as long as I still have a pulse, I will work every single day until I'm high on that stage, proving every living soul that had ever doubted me wrong. Because revenge is a dish best served cold, and nothing is more cold to somebody than humbly living the perfect life they never said that you could. But I'm not there yet. You know, I've got my fair share of imperfections and all this weight to lose, and maybe my dreams will change, who knows? But I'll be damned if I don't try my hardest to succeed, because what the fuck do I look like being old as shit wondering what if? I hope the future's awesome. I've never been in a serious relationship, but I think it'd be fun. I don't go out much due to my job being basically YouTube, so I'm restricted to meeting people online, and that's fine for some, but as luck would have it for me, I found nothing but liars, home wreckers, and crazy people, and people who were in it for the fame. But I really hope that my super awesome dope bear of my dreams is out there somewhere. If you're watching this, hit me up. God, I'm a loser. I want to end up living in Seattle because I love the rainy weather. I also love the overcast and the trees, and I hope to one day be on television. And Mom, if you're watching this, I want you to know that I love you so much, and without the strength and lessons you've given me all these years, I wouldn't be here today. I'm sorry this isn't what you had planned for me, but I'm happy. And I know that I'm not your college graduate, but you know, I hope that you can one day genuinely be proud of all my choices. And I hope that I continue on this path to success. And I hope that one day I'll be able to look at myself in the mirror and wholeheartedly say, I did it. Thanks for watching, guys.